Hello. I've been requested by some of my family members and friends to do a video about basically explaining basics of makeup like smooth foundation, winged liner, half-cut crease. I mean, cut creases aren't really basic, but I know a lot of people want to know how to do them. Curled lashes, all that jazz. So that's what we are doing today because I am such a good makeup artist. I'm joking, but I know a thing or two about makeup. So I'm gonna teach you all my secrets today. Sound good? Good. Let's get started. Okay, so something that is very important to having smooth foundation is primer. This primer is my favorite thing in the entire world. It is the Tarte Base Tape Primer, and it is hydrating. Unless you have like super oily skin, I would recommend using a hydrating primer because I think it really helps to make foundation not look cakey. And as long as you use the right foundation and use powder, your face won't look shiny or anything. When it comes to primer, I do recommend getting a more high-end one because maybe I just had bad luck, but all the drugstore ones I've used have not been very good. So foundation, we are going to use the Morphe 2 foundation. I've tried many foundations and none of them have worked with my skin as well as this one. I have combination skin, so I have both dry skin and oily skin, and this one is really good at hydrating, but at the same time not looking shiny. It has a really natural finish. I would say it's about like medium coverage, but it's very buildable. So as long as you just put like thin layers on at a time, you can get it to be full coverage. So it's like a little dropper thing. You just drop it where you need it. I just put a little bit on at a time and then add more if I need to. And you can use either a brush or a sponge. I've used both. I go like back and forth, but I think I like using a brush a little bit better. I don't know what it is about them, but brushes definitely give you more coverage. I guess if you want like a more sheer finish, use a sponge. But if you do use a sponge, this is very important. Run it under water beforehand and then squeeze it so that it gets softer and it blends out a lot better. When it comes to face brushes, I recommend the Real Techniques brushes, and this is also the Real Techniques sponge. And then I use the what's this called? Tarte Shape Tape. This is a pretty full coverage concealer, so if you put too much of it on, it might look cakey. So just be really careful and just put a tiny bit. Just put it in areas that are more red or where you have acne. And I also use a brush to blend out concealer. I don't know if that's good or not, but it works for me. Also, very important for smooth foundation, your #1 priority should be having a good skincare routine because the worse your skin is, the less smooth your foundation is gonna look. You can't really expect makeup to magically fix everything if you're not taking care of your skin. Also, I know a lot of us got our makeup knowledge from YouTube. However, keep in mind that YouTubers use a lot of filters and a lot of editing to make their face literally look flawless and perfect. So while I think my foundation routine really does a good job of making my skin look as smooth as possible, makeup is going to have texture, you know, like faces have texture. And even my camera somehow has some filter thing that makes my skin looks clearer than it actually is. So don't be discouraged if your face doesn't look like a Barbie doll, you know what I mean? Alright, for powder, use loose powder. I have the Anastasia one, but a really good cheaper one is the Maybelline Fit Me one. Loose powder just works so much better than, what's it called? Compressed powder. Really sets your makeup in place, it will not budge, and just pack it on like that. But honestly, when it comes to makeup, you really just gotta find what works for you. You gotta experiment with a lot of different stuff. And just like that, we have smooth, nice skin. So moral of the story when it comes to foundation and base makeup, less is more. Next, I'm going to show you how to do bronzer. I take kind of an angled brush like this. Just dip a tiny bit into it and then tap it off. And then you're gonna wanna make that face and go along where that kind of line is. And do like really quick upward strokes. And then bring it up to your forehead. You can add a little bit more to put on your forehead if you want. Next up is my favorite step, which is blush. And I use a pretty similar brush to the bronzer brush. I just like to keep them separate so I don't, mix them up. You're gonna wanna smile. In this chubby part that's called the apple of your cheek, you're gonna wanna put it there and kind of blend it upwards to your cheekbone. And I like to kind of dab it. So let's discuss colors real quick. Okay, you're gonna think I'm crazy when I say this, but basically everyone looks better in either warm tones or cool tones, and here's how you can tell. By the color of your veins. So if you have more green veins, then you are warm toned, and if you have more purpley bluish veins, then you are cool toned. So I have more, I don't know if you can see, but I have more green veins, so I am more warm toned. I use more warm toned blushes and warm toned eyeshadows. I think that's like one of the most important things you need to know when it comes to picking out colors. And we are going to move on to eyeshadow. We are going to do a natural half cut crease, and I'm going to teach you how to do a cut crease. I'm going to use the Naked Heat Palettes. I just got it, and like I said, the warm tones. And also something that's really important is brushes. Like I said, when it comes to face brushes, I really recommend Real Techniques brushes. And then with eye brushes, I would use either Morphe or e.l.f. if you want to save more money. With eyeshadow, you want to use the lighter colors on the inner corner of your crease and then the darker colors on the outer corner of your crease. And you definitely want to use matte colors in your crease. Do not use shimmery because that usually does not turn out good. So I'm going to take kind of a flat, fluffy brush, and I'm going to take the color Sauced. I'm going to kind of pack that on the inner corner of my crease. Let me zoom in so you can see those better. And I like to use about 2 to 3 colors in my crease. Then I'm going to use the same brush and I'm going to use the color He Devil. Put that next to it and try my best to blend them together. Ooh, that is pigmented. I'm going to use a bigger fluffy brush and blend it out a little bit more. And then on the outer corner, I like to take a smaller fluffy brush because it could definitely get messy and you want to prevent fallout as much as possible. I'm going to mix these two colors and be really light when it comes to the dark colors because you can always add more, but you can't really take any away. You just kind of want to gently smoke it out. Kind of blend it to the under eye and also on the outer corner of the lid. So that is how you do the crease, and now I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do the cut crease. Ignore how messy this is, but you're going to want to take a super flat brush like this, kind of has a rounded tip. And you're going to take your concealer again, you're going to put some on your hand, and then you're going to take that brush and really gently dip it into the concealer. Do not use a lot. I first just kind of wipe a little bit, really gently, small strokes at a time. Outline your lid. And this takes a lot of practice. Just use a tiny bit at a time. And don't try this for the first time if you're like going somewhere. Just take time when you're bored at home to practice it. Stops about right there, and you just kind of fill it in gently, and don't really worry about what the end of it looks like because you're going to blend that out anyway. There you go. You want to take your big fluffy brush and kind of blend the eyeshadow you have on your crease on the outer corner into the end of your cut crease. I'm going to take the Morphe Jeffree Star palette and use the color Designer Label. It's like a really shimmery champagne-y gold color. If you want to make any shimmery color more pigmented and more sparkly, you can take MAC Fix Plus, but honestly I kind of find that this works with any kind of setting spray. And spray it And I'm gonna use this kind of shimmery rose gold color and put that on the outer side of the cut crease. And this is gonna really help to blend. And that, my friends, is how you get a natural cut crease. I'm going to go ahead and do my other eye off camera.
Many hours later.
The next step is eyeliner. So first of all, always use a felt tip eyeliner. Don't even try with the hard, wobbly liquid liner brushes or the pencils. Use a felt tip pen. And I really recommend this e.l.f. one. It's really like $2 and it's really good. So I'm gonna do a voiceover while putting this on because I don't even want to try to do it while talking. First, you're going to draw a really thin line in the middle of your lash line to kind of create an outline of where the wing is going to connect. On the outer corner of your eye, you're going to draw a diagonal line as straight as possible, and you can make it as long or as short as you want. Then you're going to leave a tiny bit of space from the end of that diagonal line. Flip your pen over and then drag the pen down to meet the thin line you made in the middle. Next is mascara. So first you're going to want to get a nice lash curler. I have the Revlon one. So one of the difficult parts is getting all of your lashes in the lash curler. So what I do is looking up kind of helps, and just try your best to fit them in there. You do not need to hold it for long, just a few seconds. The L'Oreal Lash Paradise does a really good job of holding the curl. Kind of twist the wand as you're running it through your lashes. And also blink while you're doing it. And what you can do if your lashes kind of start to clump up, take a spoolie and just run it through your lashes. We are now going to go ahead and do highlighter. I really like the Anastasia highlighter palette. Love the Starburst shade. I recommend getting an actual highlighter brush. Morphe has a lot of these. They basically just look like really big crease eyeshadow brushes. Dip a tiny bit in it and tap it off and put it right on your cheekbones and blend it up into your temples. I also like to put it a little bit on my Cupid's bow. I know a lot of people put some on their nose, but I personally don't like to. I just don't like the way it looks. Stay hydrated. We are finally on to the last step, which is lips. So lips are really optional. You can use no lip product. You can use a matte lipstick, a lip gloss. I personally like to use the Hannah Montana Best of Both Worlds and use a lip tint. This is the ColourPop Animal Crossing one. This is the peach color. You put as much or as little as you want. And I really like glossy lips, so I put a lip gloss on top, then I just put a little bit on top. And ladies and gents, that is pretty much everything you need to know about makeup. I'm recording this last clip on my phone because, of course, my camera died. This is the final look. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!